Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan. I have a feeling this may go down as one of the decisions I regret. I don't know that this is entirely safe, but I wanted to illustrate that I'm a fan of Booker's bourbon. I really like Booker's in general. I have many bottles of Booker's. I like to collect them and compare the batches. But we have a brand new release coming from the Booker's product line, courtesy of Freddie Noe. Freddie Noe's been experimenting a bit this year, hadn't he? So we just covered the Infinite bottle from the Little Book lineup, which is brand new. And then today we are hitting the Reserves. Okay, this is a brand new release from the Booker's core lineup, and they say it's going to be an annual thing, but the idea here is that we're going to have a Booker's that's going to be a blend of different barrels of different ages, instead of just being, one batch out of one warehouse. Now we have 8 different barrels from 8 different warehouses, all from the center cut, right? That sweet spot, Booker's sweet spot in the warehouse. So he's honoring that same kind of idea and picking these specific barrels out of different parts of the warehouse. We have stuff from, and let's see, I wrote it down because I want to make sure I got it right, but we have 3 8-year-old barrels, we have 3 9-year-old barrels, we have a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old. So that's the ages of the bourbons that are in here. All of it's Jim Beam distillate, but from 8 different warehouses. It's described as a pretty limited release, so if you get your hands on a bottle, congratulations. I've seen a number of people I know have been able to score one of these, so I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. I mean, you're probably more likely to get one of these than you are most Buffalo Trace things these days. But anyways, it comes in at $129 MSRP, and the proof on it, I believe, is 125.9. So it's got some heat to it, which is pretty standard for Booker stuff. So let's get in here, and we'll see if this is any good. See if it's worth the the extra $20 to $30 you would pay for this as opposed to a standard Booker's bottle. I feel like the glare on these is... What if I... There, no glare. I'm gonna do it on this one too. I feel like I'm playing Jenga or something. Like I said, one wrong turn here, my elbow catches one of these, and this will end up being a decision I regret. But I just wanted to illustrate that I do like Booker's, so I've got a bit of a frame of reference here. Okay, let's get in on it. I will note that most Booker stuff is coming in much younger than this. So let me look here. 7 years, 7 years, 7 years. Yeah, 7 years is pretty much the standard, going age of most Booker's batches, with a little bit of variety here and there, one higher, one lower. But in this one, we've got 14-year-old, and 10-year-old, and 9-year-old, and 8-year-old. So even like the youngest stuff in here is older than most Bookers. So that alone is probably reflected in that small price increase here. Quite frankly, it's like, you know what, it's not $200, and I feel like a ton of stuff these days that has that kind of age is coming in around $200. Like they just keep hiking these prices up higher and higher and higher. But this is not that. $130. The nose is giving me a lot of like sweet pecans, like candied pecans, some maple syrup, like French toast with powdered sugar on top of it. This is a very sweet nose, but there's also some good seasoned oak in there too. I might like ask for a little bit more of that seasoned oak note. It is very sweet on the nose, but it is, I'm certainly not complaining. It's very nice. Let's try it. Cheers. It's definitely bringing the heat. Okay, so when you, it's like the holiday season, and you're doing some last minute Christmas shopping, you go to the mall. I don't know if you guys go to the mall anymore. Most of us just use Amazon, shop online. Some of us still go to the mall occasionally, and they always have like these booths in the center aisles of the mall in between stores that are making those cinnamon roasted almonds. You know what I mean? It's like brown sugar and cinnamon coated almonds. This on the palate reminds me of those. You get that nice punch of cinnamon, a little bit of a spice note to it, but it's also very brown sugary and sweet and nutty as well, which nutty is very right on par for Jim Beam distillate, especially the Booker stuff. It's very oily in terms of mouthfeel. I get a lot of the tannic oak, like right here on the sides of my tongue. You know what I mean? Not down the center, but the sides of them. It gets really dry in there, but it's like a sweet, dry oak. The finish is very long. It's just a ton of like, I would say almond and caramel on the finish. That just kind of hangs out, especially right on the top of the roof of my mouth here. If you feel the roof of your mouth with your tongue, you get to that part where suddenly it gets soft, your soft palate back there. It hangs out right up in there in that soft area. The almonds and caramel. That's pretty good. Okay, so if I am giving this a score for my scale, there's a few things I want to take into account. First and foremost, I do like Jim Beam distillate. I think this is really good stuff. And it's got some decent seasoned oak on it, on the tail end of the palate and into the finish. If I can nitpick, there's 2 things I would say. I want more of that seasoned oak. If I'm getting 14-year-old Jim Beam distillate here, give me that warehouse funky oak. You know what I'm saying? That I've come to expect from some of their more aged products. And I'm sort of missing that here. I don't get a lot of that funky warehouse oak. and I really wish I had it because I feel like that goes so well with their nutty profile. You know, some of the Booker's batches have that and some of them don't, and the better ones, in my opinion, do tend to have that. I also want a little bit more complexity to it. You know, it's nothing about it is surprising, or I honestly don't think if you let me sip on this in a flight with, maybe that would actually be a good experiment, but if I did a flight of Bookers, I don't think I could pick this one out as being something that is distinct, something that is separate from this stuff and is its own entity. I don't think it has enough of an identity that it could stand out against the backdrop of all these other Booker's releases that we get every year. We get 4 of them a year, and I just don't think it's jumping off the page like it stands out to be a $30. I mean, I understand I can justify the price point absolutely by knowing what's in there, knowing that it's older stuff. Like this stuff usually goes for around $100, and for $30 more, we're getting something that has twice the age in it, and 14-year, 10-year, 8-year. So I understand it. I don't think it is an unfair price point at all. And maybe it's a me thing, maybe it's a my palate issue, but I just don't think that it's distinct enough to justify it. Like if there was a new batch of Bookers and this on the shelf next to each other, I'd probably just take the new batch of Bookers and see how it compares to the other batches that I have. You know what I mean? So for me and my money, I think I'm going to give this a 6.8. I think it's really good. I would say it falls firmly in the maybe buy category. If you like to collect Bookers, you want to have this one on your shelf, you want to see how this new product line continues to develop and grow over time, maybe grab a bottle of it. There's nothing wrong with that. I think for me personally, like I just said, if I saw, like the 3rd batch or 4th batch for the year and this next to each other on the shelf, I'll probably just grab one of the new batches myself. But that's just me and where I fall with it. So 6.8, really good. Maybe buy. That's where I'm at on this. Thanks, Matt, for sharing your bottle with me. I appreciate you, brother, as always. Looking forward to the bottle share. We're doing, so by the way, if you didn't know, we have a full Discord community. You're welcome to hop in there for free. Just join the Discord community and get chatting. We do have a separate Patreon lounge where we hook up certain events for people who are members of the Patreon group, which is, it's only $1 a month just to gain access to the Patreon. And then obviously there's different tier levels. For example, this week I actually live streamed to the Patreon group myself doing one of these reviews live. So they just got to sit in on the live recording and we chatted a bit afterwards. But also one of the things that we're doing with the Patreon group is a bottle share. Very excited about that. Most of us have sent out samples. From me, you guys are getting, I just posted a picture of it in the Discord, but it's a tawny port finished bottled and bond bourbon. And well, it was like bottled and bond up until the point that they then finished it. They took their bottled and bond product and then went and finished it. So it dequalifies it for that label, but essentially you get the idea. Eastern Kill Michigan bourbon, finished in tawny port barrels. I'm excited to get that out to you guys, and we should have a good time doing our virtual bottle share here pretty soon. Once everybody gets their samples in, we can sit down together and pick out a couple of days where we get to wade through these. It's a lot of whiskey. I mean, every one of us is getting 12 different whiskeys from all over the United States. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to doing that. And it's cool that this time around we did a craft distillery theme. We just said pick something close to you, close-ish, so we can try a wide variety of craft distilleries and just kind of see if any of them really stand out to us. It's a great way to discover other distilleries out there doing cool stuff. So big shout out to my Patreon supporters. Really appreciate you guys for the support that you show and the way you fund the bottles we get to pick up and review here on the channel. Cheers, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.